Good evening and welcome to Falcon Update Live on MC77. I'm Brian Schermeyer.
And I'm JoJo King. This past week was Student Homecoming Week. Students could enjoy many activities on campus, including food trucks and a Minute to Win It game competition. On Wednesday night, SAB hosted a karaoke night in the Union. Here are some highlights from the evening.
Which I'm certain
you cry, see what you heard, see what you don't go breaking my heart. You think the weight of time, you took the midnight train.
Thank you everyone for sharing your talent with us. Messiah students gathered together in Brubaker Auditorium once again for the annual homecoming dance on Saturday night. The dance featured refreshments, plenty of photo opportunities, and excellent music for students to dance the night away. Also at the dance was the official announcement of Eli McCobb as the homecoming king and Anna Mayo as the homecoming queen. Congratulations, Eli and Hannah.
Next, we have Falcon on the Street, the segment where we go around and ask Messiah students random questions on campus. Let's go to JC Seltzer for this week's question.
Finals are happening, people are cramming, people are stressed. So we're gonna go find out if people have any advice about surviving the second half of the semester. Let's go.
Probably just be prioritizing sleep, making sure you're getting your 6 to 8 hours, consolidating those memories. And probably also just like prioritizing time for relaxation as well, even if you can only give yourself like an hour a night just to keep yourself sane.
One thing that's getting me through is definitely allowing myself to be distracted by things that are important. Like knowing that you have to do all your homework and get everything done and focusing on what's important, but like also taking the time to let yourself relax and laugh with your roommates for a few minutes or do something fun for yourself or journal.
Sleep before 12.
Okay, so I would definitely say that taking care of yourself is like #1 priority. I know I struggle with this a lot, but if you're not taking care of yourself, then it's going to reflect in your work and then everything else is just a mess. So making sure, especially eating right, like everyone preaches about sleeping, getting lots of sleep, which also is important, but also just making sure that you're eating properly, like all 3 meals, and you know, there's lots of sustenance so that you can get through the day, because coffee is not all that we can run on. So that would be my biggest tip.
Generally, do things that you enjoy, like incorporate that more into your schedule. Self-care is a huge part in getting through the second semester, because that's when things get long, days get long, weeks get long, tests get longer, and same thing with essays and whatever projects that you may have. So it's important that you balance the increase of schoolwork with an increase of self-care.
Whether it is eating healthier, getting more sleep, or hanging out at Legacy Park, what advice do you have for the second half of the semester? Leave a comment on our social media pages. Back to you guys.
Thanks, JC. We will have sports when we come back. Stay tuned.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cure.
This is the Grantham Community Garden. We grow over 40 different crops here, all grown organically, all by students, always student-led. We're one of the most profitable student organizations on campus. Everything that we grow here we sell, and that keeps the garden going and also pays the people who work in it. And now we're trying to work our way towards being a small farm. We have more paid student workers than we've ever had before.
My name is Macy Thornton. I'm a senior and I'm a public relations major. I was initially drawn to the public relations major because I've always been great with people and the skills are very transferable. One thing that's definitely unique to Messiah is that they teach from a Christian perspective, and I've been able to use that in internships and those types of opportunities. The professors are great, they're very approachable, and they genuinely want to see you succeed. I'm involved in athletics in that I'm on the Messiah women's basketball team, and it's been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. I'm in a class called Senior PR Campaign, and we're working for an actual nonprofit organization off campus, so we're helping them with some PR related things, and it's just really great to actually put theory into practice and to feel like you're making a difference even though you're still in school. And I also had the opportunity to do an internship with a minor league baseball team. PR practitioners have to conduct themselves ethically. They have to have integrity. They have to be honest and transparent with the people they work with. So ethics is a big part of public relations. I believe Christian PR practitioners are called to hold themselves to a higher standard because of their beliefs, and that should show in their professional life. I feel very prepared with regard to the experiences I've had, the internship opportunities I've had, and the knowledge I have that the PR major has given me and the skills I've attained through it. What?
The men's soccer team traveled to Hood College on Tuesday. The Falcons and Blazers traded goals to make it 2-2 in the 62nd minute. Matt McDonald and Grant Johnson netted their first career goals to give Messiah the 4-2 lead they would never look back from. The Falcons' win pushes them to 12-2-2 on the season. They will be back in action again on Friday at Albright.
On Wednesday, October 23rd, the women's Messiah soccer team traveled to Hood College. The first half ended with a 3-0 lead in favor of the Falcons. Haley Loniger, Kylie Firestone, and Brooke Firestone all contributed to these 3 goals. Brooke Firestone's goal tallied to be her 15th goal of the season. In the second half, Claire Breer and Brooke Firestone, with her second of the night, put up the last 2 goals of the game for the team. The final score of the game ended at 5-0, giving another win to Messiah. The women's soccer team will play again on October 29th at 7 p.m.
Men's soccer secured the top seed in the postseason with a 2-0 win over Albright College on Friday night. Ben Lefevre and Chad Vrolik both scored in the first half, and the score would remain unchanged throughout the rest of the game. Goalkeeper Nate Flanders saved a penalty kick in the second half, earning the Falcons their 9th shutout of the season.
The number 1 Messiah women's soccer team continued their hot streak as they defeated conference foe Albright on Saturday. The Falcons capitalized in the first half and scored both their tallies before halftime. Shelby Berger put the ball in the back of the net in the 29th minute, and then Claire Breer converted a penalty kick for a goal in the 42nd minute. The Falcons emerged victorious 2-1 and now move to 6-0-1 in the MAC Commonwealth Conference.
Messiah Field Hockey hosted Lebanon Valley in a battle of unbeatens in the MAC Commonwealth on Wednesday. Falcons are looking to make it 10 wins in a row here at Anderson Field. Early in the action, Nicole Schenk inserts the penalty corner to Mackenzie Brubaker, who shoots, but it's wide right. Ashlyn Smith here has the ball at midfield, passes it across the field, and she passes it then inside to Jenny Young, who looks to make something happen, but it goes out of bounds. Later on, Falcons trailing 1-0. Young passes it across the net to Emily Knepp, who scores the tying goal. 1-1 now, 5.5 to go, and Emily Knepp gets the goal again to win the game 2-1. Falcons would take the field next on Saturday at Albright.
We will have more Falcon update after the break. Don't go anywhere.
drawing contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
My name is Natalie Moy. I'm a senior and I'm a digital media major. I feel like the classes here have helped me to train my eye to detect good design. I like how the professors don't force you into one way of thinking. Instead, they allow you to be creative and think of projects in your own way, and they will guide you and help you envision your project to make it even better and stronger. In my portfolio, I have quite a large variety of works. I have design-based works, I have photography, I have videography, and one of the big projects I will be expecting in my portfolio would be from the junior-senior film class that I'm taking this semester. I'll be the production designer for this short film, and I'm looking forward to work with my crew because they're all awesome people. Messiah has this media hub called The Pulse, so I've been working for them for the past few months, and you can do stuff like designing, photography, videography, the radio station, and you can even design websites, write articles. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to get my work out there. I'm a designer, so people on campus or even off campus get to see what I do, and I think that's really great. So if you're a digital media student, you could go into computer science fields, or you could go into the film industries or graphic design. I guess it's the beauty of digital media. It's just so versatile.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I
Right.
mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
Wearing pink socks to represent Breast Cancer Awareness Month, your Messiah Falcons field hockey team took to the field on Saturday, October 26, to face the Albright Lions. Nicole Shank got Messiah on the board late in the first quarter. Albright responded by the end, leaving the teams going into the second quarter at 1-1. By the end of the game, Kristen Musser, Hannah Palm, and Josie Weaver had all tallied points, leaving the final score to be 4-1, giving the field hockey team another win. The team will be back in action on Anderson Field on October 30th at 6 p.m.
The women's cross-country team competed in their last regular season meet on Friday evening at Lebanon Valley College. The Falcons took first place in the 8-team field, despite resting some of their top runners. They beat second-place Gettysburg by a close score of 36-37. Emma Ferdig and Brianna Hess were the top finishers for Messiah, finishing 5th and 6th respectively. The team will travel to Hood College this Saturday for the MAC championship race.
The men's cross-country team traveled to Lebanon Valley College for the Last Chance Run Fast invite on Saturday. Strength showings from Chad Long, 9th place, and Sam Rosinski, 15th, led the way for the Falcons. The team finished in second place at the meet, earning 68 points. The team will look for another strong showing on Saturday, November 2nd, as they compete for their third consecutive MAC championship title.
The women's volleyball team traveled to Wilkes University over the weekend to compete in a tri-match against the host team and Rutgers Camden. The Falcons beat Rutgers Camden in the first set, but the Scarlet Raptors fought hard in the second set. Mary Underman and Peyton Manwaring both recorded kills near the end of the set, giving the Falcons a 30-28 win. Messiah continued to dominate the third set, securing their second win of the weekend.
In a tri-match hosted by Wilkes University, the Messiah women's volleyball team went 2-0, defeating Rutgers Camden and Wilkes. The Falcons saw production from most of their roster, with 6 players recording at least 5 kills. Mary Underman led the team with 12, and Rachel Garrett had 7. The Falcons now stand at 21-6 and look to return to MAC Commonwealth play as they travel to Albright on Tuesday.
Feeling stressed this week? We go to De-Stress with Charmaine Lim.
With about a week until Halloween, it's time to get into the spooky mood with some holiday-appropriate activities. You might not know that Stephen King's son is also a horror writer. Under the pen name of Joe Hill, this is one of many New York Times bestselling novels published by his son.
Are we coming back?
Nosferatu follows Victoria McQueen, a woman with the ability to find anything that has been lost. As a child, she accidentally rides her bike across a bridge and into a different world, where a man named Charles Manx has built a terrifying playground for children. Years later, as the only child to escape his grasp, Victoria has to protect her own son and try to defeat the evil that's been following her for years. Probably one of Iggy Azalea's most famous singles, Black Widow has all the elements to fit in with this holiday. Written from the point of view of a woman who has been hurt by her lover, this dark song is perfect for Halloween with its electronic-sounding drum beats and almost creepy notes. The song is also paired with a dark delivery by Rita Ora and Azalea. The lyrics remind listeners of a femme fatale and the promise to end a romance the same way Black Widow spiders do. If you've heard of Death Note, it's for a good reason. Highly intelligent and bored with the world, Light Yagami finds a new hobby when a Death Note falls from the sky. Armed with the power to kill anyone he pleases by simply writing their name, Light also commands a god of death known as the Shinigami. Together, the two set out to change the world into a place where Light hides in plain sight as a godlike power. Just make sure that you watch the anime instead of the live Netflix adaptation. Trigger warnings for violent death, psychological trauma, and some disturbing images. Giving the Joker his own original story in a feature film, this is probably the darkest version of the crazy clown's backstory. Arthur Fleck is a failed comedian who laughs uncontrollably due to a mental condition. Bullied for his awkward behavior and nervous laughter, Fleck begins his descent into madness and transforms into the Joker, Gotham's worst nightmare. Before going to see this in theater, keep in mind that the film is rated R for good reason and might not be suitable for all audiences. Trigger warnings include violence, abuse, mental illness, bullying, disturbing images, profanity, sexual content, and gory content. Take your childhood game and turn it up a notch. Turn off the lights and give the designated it a glow stick. The only way to pass the role is by catching someone and passing the glow stick off to them. If you're worried about injuring yourself in the dark while playing tag, try playing outdoors at night instead. Places like Bittner Beach and the Union Lawn have the perfect amount of space to make glow stick tag even more fun. That's all for this week's Daily De-Stressors. I'm Charmaine Lim.
We'll have Campus Calendar with Allie Hufford when we come back. Stay tuned.
Hi there. You might wonder what a famous Hollywood celebrity like me is doing reading in the dark. Is this some new sort of Hollywood method acting? No, this is quite real.
Did you know that Americans use about 4 times as much energy per year as the global average? We waste energy left and right despite the fact that the dirty fossil fuels we use to power our energy sources wreak havoc on the natural world and destroys valuable wildlife habitats.
By reading with my solar-powered night vision goggles, I'm saving energy and looking sleek.
You don't have to sit in the dark like Ed Begley Jr. to save the world. Fight climate change by speaking up for cleaner, smarter energy, including rooftop solar.
Oh, that's way better. Oh.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
I'm Lily. I am a junior, and I am a broadcasting and media production major at Messiah College. I chose to be a broadcasting and media production major because as a little girl, I dreamt of being a TV anchor. There are so many opportunities you can have as a broadcasting major. Messiah is really unique in the fact that we have our own TV station, and it's student-led, so each week we have Falcon Update, which is a half hour, and then we have MC Live, which is a half hour as well. My favorite part is just being in the hustle and bustle of everything, and I'm really excited to just be creative when I'm putting together news packages or shooting other stories, just really getting every element of storytelling in my work. So we have a lot of faith-based projects. Right now we're working on one, it's called Faith Sides for multimedia storytelling. In pairs we're interviewing each other for 2 minutes about some aspect of faith. A lot of students from our major either intern at ABC77 or WGAL. I shadowed one of my professors at a Hershey Bears game. The Bears are a local AHL hockey team, and through that experience I developed connections and eventually I got a job there. So I run the Crossfire machine and the LEDs on game days. My freshman year at Messiah, when I first came, I knew absolutely nothing about broadcasting or media. And now I feel confident that I can go work at a TV news station.
Welcome back to
That is all for this week's show. Be sure to tune in to MC Live coming up next.
For Brian Schermeyer, Charmaine Lim, and Allie Hufford, I'm JoJo King. Have a great night.
Hi there. Dark.
Welcome back to MC77. Here's this week's campus calendar. Want to spook your
Acclamation Dance Ministry is a club on campus that basically incorporates any number of people to come and learn about dance as a form of worship.
Acclamation offers a lot of classes. We offer 3 levels of modern, 3 levels of jazz, 3 levels of ballet, and a point class, and 2 levels of tap.
Anyone can be involved in Acclamation. We want our doors to be open and arms to be welcoming in for people if they want to learn dance and learn that through a means of worship. We are a student-run organization. All of our officers are students on campus. All of our teachers are students on campus. And we are a ministry first and foremost.
I think one of my favorite parts of Acclamation is just being able to put homework down, just being able to go to the dance studio and have a good time with friends and worship God.
It's definitely been a constant in my life and a constant in my time at Messiah.
I also really love the community. I love that it really is a family.
It's a community of people that are encouraging and lifting me up in my dance ability, not tearing me down.
I came to college where dance had always been something that really separated me from God. And so coming to Acclamation, I found people that danced with me and encouraged my faith. And also just a way to worship God that I hadn't really experienced before. And honestly, now it's my most true form of worship.
For me, to use dance as a form of worship is to kind of give my body as a living sacrifice.
To give back to God what He's given to us. So just to use our talents and abilities for His glory.
For me, it means to just use movement in all that you are. In Acclamation, we say audience for one, you're dancing for God, and that's what praising God through dance is.
It's me recognizing that this gift is not my own and it's something that I want to give the Lord and also share with others that this isn't my own ability, but it's God's. For people who want to join Acclamation, join.
I've seen many people who have tried it for the first time and just absolutely love it, so just give it a try.
And it's just a place to come have fun, really, and learn how to glorify God in a new way. And it's, if you've never danced for God before, it's a really cool way to praise Him.
My name is Macy Thornton. I'm a senior and I'm a public relations major. I was initially drawn to the public relations major because I've always been great with people and the skills are very transferable. One thing that's definitely unique to Messiah is that they teach from a Christian perspective, and I've been able to use that in internships and those types of opportunities. The professors are great. They're very approachable and they genuinely want to see you succeed. I'm involved in athletics in that I'm on the Messiah women's basketball team, and it's been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. I'm in a class called Senior PR Campaign, and we're working for an actual nonprofit organization off campus, so we're helping them with some PR related things, and it's just really great to actually put theory into practice and to feel like you're making a difference even though you're still in school. And I also had the opportunity to do an internship with a minor league baseball team. PR practitioners have to conduct themselves ethically. They have to have integrity. They have to be honest and transparent with the people they work with. So ethics is a big part of public relations. I believe Christian PR practitioners are called to hold themselves to a higher standard because of their beliefs, and that should show in their professional life. I feel very prepared with regard to the experiences I've had, the internship opportunities I've had, and the knowledge I have that the PR major has given me and the skills I've attained through it.
Welcome back to MC77. Here's this week's campus calendar. Want to spook your friends this Halloween season? Come to the Falcon on Tuesday, October 29th or Thursday, October 31st from 8:45 to 10:45 a.m. to send your friends anonymous chocolate or fruity candygrams. You can also attach a note, and the Messiah College Council on Family Relations will take care of getting these to your friends. Each bag is $2.50, and you can pay in cash or through Venmo. President Phipps will be hosting an open door day on Wednesday, October 30th from 1 to 4 p.m. This is an opportunity for students and employees to meet individually with President Phipps and talk about topics that are important to them. A sign-in sheet will be located in room 207 of Old Main starting at 1 p.m. on October 30th. Open door day is on a first-come, first-served basis. Also on Wednesday, the Department of Human Development and Family Science and the PA Association of Family and Consumer Sciences will be hosting alumni career conversations and professional networking event from 4:30 to 5:45 p.m. in Hofstetter Chapel. Come and participate in roundtable conversations with alumni and other professionals in the HDFS and FCS fields. Door prizes will be given and all are welcome. For more information, you can contact Abby Estes at ae1232@messiah.edu. Asian Student Association will be hosting their second annual All-Around Asia Dance on Friday, November 1st. Stop by the Union from 8 p.m. to midnight to have fun, take pictures at the photo booth, and, of course, dance to a variety of songs from all around Asia. Lost Films will be showing the live-action version of The Lion King this weekend in Parma Cinema. Take a trip back to your childhood with this Disney classic turned live-action film that mirrors the 1994 version while adding a few scenes and songs. The film will be showing at 6 and 9 p.m. on Friday and 3, 6, and 9 p.m. on Saturday. Admission is free for students and $4 for guests. That's all for this week's campus calendar. I'm Allie Hufford.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cure.
My name is Natalie Moy. I'm a senior and I'm a digital media major. I feel like the classes here have helped me to train my eye to detect good design. I like how the professors don't force you into one way of thinking. Instead, they allow you to be creative and think of projects in your own way, and they will guide you and help you envision your project to make it even better and stronger. In my portfolio, I have quite a large variety of works. I have design-based works, I have photography, I have videography, and one of the big projects I'll be expecting in my portfolio would be from the junior-senior film class that I'm taking this semester. I'll be the production designer for this short film, and I'm looking forward to work with my crew because they're they're all awesome people. Messiah has this media hub called The Pulse. So I've been working for them for the past few months, and you can do stuff like designing, photography, videography, the radio station, and you can even design websites, write articles. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to get my work out there. I'm a designer, so people on campus or even off campus get to see what I do, and I think that's really great. So if you're a digital media student, you could go into computer science fields, or you could go into the film industries or graphic design. I guess it's the beauty of digital media. It's just so versatile.
Good evening and welcome to MC Live right here on MC77. I'm Dan Allen.
And I'm JC Seltzer. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. First up, we have Aaron Herzog, president of the Sign Language Club, here to tell us a little more about their club.
And following that, we have student career coaches Abby Ruth and Caitlin Pearson here to tell us what the Career and Professional Development Center has been up to this semester.
Don't forget, you can ask questions on our Instagram, or if you're watching our YouTube live stream, leave your questions in the live comments. You won't want to miss tonight's show. We'll be right back after the break.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to MC Live here on MC77. We are joined by Aaron Herzog, president of the Sign Language Club. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for asking. So, a little bit more about the club. When and how did the club form?
So the club formed about 5 years ago. We had a girl who started the club, and then she graduated, and then the following year, a girl who was actually a CODA, which is a child of a deaf adult, decided to continue on with the club, and then for the past 3 years, Anna Marie Clark was our president, and she just graduated last year, and so then I picked up the position. And we've just been slowly making our way towards becoming a small club to a recognized club, and last year we just got chartered, which is super exciting for us.
What does that mean, being chartered?
So chartered clubs get money from SGA.
Oh, okay.
So that means that we get funding to do certain activities, go on certain events, and get more resources for our club.
Now, what does your role as president include?
So for the president's role, I teach the intermediate class. So we have 2 different classes. Our first class is from 8 to 8:30, and that's for intermediate level class members who have a little bit more background in sign language. And then our beginner class is longer, and that's 8:30 to 9:30, and they do like everything that's from like numbers to alphabet, just to like getting those foundational skills built. So that way in the following years they can move up into doing intermediates. So I teach that class, and I do a lot of communication with our advisor, and I do a lot of the event planning as well.
Other than the president, what other roles are in the club?
Yeah, so we have 4 leadership positions. We have the president, which is myself. We have our vice president, Corinne DePhoto, and Corinne does a lot of teaching and behind the scenes work. And then we have our treasurer, who handles all of our money because we are chartered, and does cash reimbursements and cash advances, and our budgeting, for example, and attends budget meetings. And then we have our secretary, which sends out emails to the club, makes sure people are informed, things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I was looking on like the website for the Sign Language Club. So I know you strive to bring deaf awareness to campus. What does that look like?
That looks like introducing topics like deaf culture into the conversation, especially within like the club setting for people who've never been introduced to that. We like to focus a lot on deaf culture. We'll bring in special speakers, and we'll do events throughout the semester that include going into the deaf community and meeting with people. So a lot of those events we advertise to people outside the club, just so that more people can get exposed to deafness and the deaf community and what that looks like.
I know you already touched upon it, like different classes or like courses you can take, but for someone who has no experience with sign language at all, how do you approach that? Like, I know you have a beginner class, but what do you teach them in that class?
Yeah, so we start the beginner class every semester at the same level of just not knowing sign language at all. So we start out with the alphabet, basic conversation words like hi, how are you, little tidbits about deaf culture, like what deaf culture is and what it means, and then we build from there. So every semester anyone is welcome to start. And it's very like, you can pick up like certain things, like if you miss a week it's not like a big issue because we send out like emails and we make sure that you can like watch the videos of the vocab and then you can like catch yourself up to speed. Because we always want to let people know that like it doesn't have to be as big of a commitment, like you can put in as much commitment as you want to it basically.
Can you demonstrate like a few phrases like in sign language for me? Like hi, hello, how are you?
So I would say like hi, and then and then I say how, so you twist your right. Yep. How are you?
Are you? Okay, got it.
And then you say like I'm good.
Can you demonstrate like to ask like how are you doing?
I could be like hi, like what's up? How are you? Are you good? Bad? Which? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot with your facial expression. So for example, if you're like super excited, you won't be like, I'm so excited, versus if you're like really like mad, you'll be like, oh, I'm so mad, you know? So a lot with facial expressions, which is my favorite part of sign language. It's very expressive.
Yeah, definitely. So do you host any events on campus?
Yes. So we usually have a deaf speaker come once a semester. Unfortunately, we're not able to have that happen this semester, but in the spring we're going to have, hopefully have a deaf speaker come in and talk a little bit about their role within the community. I know last semester we had somebody who was deaf-blind, who was a social worker, that talked about how she does her job and how she like gets to work and just lives as someone who's deaf-blind. So that was really cool, but we're hopefully going to see if we can have someone come in the spring.
I hope you do.
Yeah, same.
Now, I know you talked about like reaching out to like the deaf community outside, like off of campus, but do you host any events off campus for that?
Yeah, so we actually have a connection with a deaf church down in Lancaster.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So every semester we go down and we take a big van full of people and we go to their Sunday service, and they have a little like coffee social time before the service and then the service, and then we hang out with them afterwards. And then we've also started going to their game nights, so they have like a social game night time once a month, so we'll take people down to that as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I know you must have like so many different stories about building community and connections in the deaf community, but how have you built those connections and seen that happen?
Yeah, so for me, a lot of the connections were handed down to me. So last year I was just the vice president, but now that I'm the president, Anne Marie really prepared me well and gave me a lot of those contacts. And so the main thing for me is making sure I keep those connections. So making sure I email people, reach out to them. Sometimes it's even just like Googling things and seeing what services and agencies are in the area that offer deaf services and reaching out to them. Like for example, the church that's in Lancaster, like we found out about just by like looking up like deaf churches in the area. So
awesome. Yeah. So we actually have a question from Ned on YouTube, and he asks, what is the biggest challenge to new sign language learners?
I think the biggest challenge for new sign language learners is I think getting to be more like using your facial expressions and your body language, because I think in English we're taught to not really be super expressive all the time, and so like teaching people to like yes, use your face, and like yes, like move around, I think can be really hard for people sometimes, especially if they're really shy and reserved, like they don't want to like do that. But I think it's really helpful and it's really beneficial. It helps you get into it more. So.
Definitely. So when you first joined the club, did you have any experience? Did you know sign language before you joined, or did you have to learn it?
Yeah. So my high school offered sign language classes. So I took a class my senior year of high school, and then I had known friends who had taken the class previous years that were in my high school, so I learned them as well. And so then when I came into school, I already had a year's worth of sign language formal education prior to joining club.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Erin on YouTube. And what is your favorite part of knowing sign language?
My favorite part is the deaf culture that goes with it. Like, I love being able to be part of a community and just be able to like talk to people and use my social work skills and fuse those with sign language, and just like getting to talk to people and just like it's very expressive, and that's my favorite part, and I just think that's super fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I know you're a social work major. Do you plan on using your sign language skills in your future career?
Yeah, so working in social work involves a lot of diversity with different clients, so I would love to someday work with people that are in the deaf community, maybe not necessarily like as a translator or anything like that, but at least like working as their social worker and being able to bridge the gap between the social worker and the deaf community in that kind of way. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So how can someone join the club?
Yeah, so joining is really easy. You can just show up. We meet on Wednesdays in Boyer 138. If you're an intermediate and you know sign language, we meet from 8 to 8:30 on Wednesdays. But if you're a beginner and you have little to no sign language, that's totally okay. You're still welcome, and that starts at 8:30. So we would love to see you come. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds like so much fun.
It is. It is. We have a ball.
Definitely. So does the club have any future events coming up that you're gonna?
Yes, we will be signing in chapel actually at the end of November. November 26th, we'll be doing a song in chapel where we'll teach everyone at chapel how to sign the chorus. So you can be on the lookout for that.
I remember, I think last year or so, I remember in the one chapel that you, the club did like a sign language song.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. And I'm looking forward to chapel.
Good. Good.
So we have another question from Lewis on YouTube, and he says, what got you into sign language?
So I had a lot of friends in high school that had taken sign language as their language credit. And so like ever since freshman year, like they would just like teach me little signs, and I thought it was like super cool. And then when I took the class for credit as a senior and I learned how it has its own structure and grammar and culture, like that's what really like hooked me into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Devin, no pressure, but he says, how do you say I love Messiah in sign language?
Okay, so you can say this two ways. So the first way you can say like I, and then love, and then you're gonna make an M. Yeah.
Like that?
Yep, and then you go from your shoulder, yeah, like a seatbelt. So like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can say I love.
Wait.
I love.
Okay.
Messiah. Or you can also say I, and then you're gonna kiss your fist and go like that, like oh yeah, like, awesome.
With a smile.
Yeah, you're like oh that's
Love
so cool.
it.
Yeah, and then you can do Messiah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So was it really hard for you? I know for sign language, like, do you have to do things a specific way, like a specific shoulder and hip?
Yeah, so we have 5 parameters in sign language. So our first one would be your hand shape, so like what your hand looks like. The second one would be the direction of the sign. So if I'm pointing to you versus if I'm pointing to someone over there, that means something different. The third one would be like speed. So like if something's like only like fast, like oh it's a little fast, or if it's like really fast, you know, like things like that. And then the fourth one is facial expression. That shows like more of what a sign is. And then like the way your palm is facing, so like it's called palm orientation. That's
I heard
yeah.
that.
So like if I'm facing this way, that means your, versus if I'm facing like this way, this could mean like 5, for example. So yeah, yeah. So the way you're
good to know.
Yeah. So yes, to answer the question, yeah, you really there's a lot more to it than what people think. But like that's what makes it cool, though. It's not like it doesn't have to be something you feel like scared of. But
yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about the club, and for teaching me a little bit of sign language as well.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll have student career coaches from the Career and Professional Development Center here, so stick around after the break.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Can I give you a hand?
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cure.
Hi there. You might wonder what a famous Hollywood celebrity like me is doing reading in the dark. Is this some new sort of Hollywood method acting? No, this is quite real.
Did you know that Americans use about 4 times as much energy per year as the global average? We waste energy left and right despite the fact that the dirty fossil fuels we use to power our energy sources wreak havoc on the natural world and destroys valuable wildlife habitats.
By reading with my solar-powered night vision goggles, I'm saving energy and looking sleek.
You don't have to sit in the dark like Ed Begley Jr. to save the world. Fight climate change by speaking up for cleaner, smarter energy, including rooftop solar.
Oh, that's way better. Oh.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
We're back here on MC77 with Abby Ruth and Caitlin Pearson. Hey, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. So you guys are both from the Career Center. What are your jobs there? What do you do?
We work as student career coaches, so we were trained by the adult career coaches to look at resumes, review them, help people answer questions about grad school, internships, anything that can be solved in about a half hour or less. Drop an appointment.
Cool. Anything to add to that, or is that pretty much?
No, she hit them all.
Okay, cool. So, do you guys have any advice, kind of, for like what people should or shouldn't include on their resume, since that's something you guys take care of?
Yeah, what's actually great now is that the Career Center is open 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. So you can do drop-in hours, and so we can even just spell check if that's all that you need. But some things to include are definitely your most recent experiences, even if you don't think it's valuable. Like if you're a Lottie worker, which is awesome, we need Lottie workers, definitely include that. And so, because it teaches you all these transferable skills that can be applied to any position. So it's not only you're learning time management and different things like that. So it's still important to put stuff like that on your resume. But
stay away from high school for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our supervisor on his first resume he put his height, weight, and marital status. So don't put that on your resume, please and thank you.
Okay, that's
we don't
for-
need to know
for
about that.
dating a site, not for
Yeah.
your resume.
Correct.
Okay, now Caitlin, you were doing some career coaching with me in the back before this interview even happened. So thank you for that, by the way. But you actually kind of walked me through some different things that I should probably know as a graduating senior. So all you graduating seniors out there, and even if you're not a senior, you're a junior, you're a sophomore, these are some helpful tips. You were telling me about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So you know where I'm going. Can you walk me through what you were
absolutely.
talking about?
So there's a really cool feature. If you search Messiah College on LinkedIn and you click on the institution, you can look at all of the alumni. So all the alumni that are on LinkedIn and are connected with Messiah via LinkedIn, you can search them and see where they live, like what they're doing, and you can get connected with them through that. And so when I was finding my internship last summer, I really didn't know what I was going to do, and so there was actually 4 alum in my area, and I live in like rural Calvert County, so it was really great that I could connect with 4 alum locally and see if they had any opportunities or knew of any opportunities like within my county. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned this, but this question is going to be for either one of you. You mentioned Handshake. So
Yes.
Handshake versus Indeed, how are they similar, how are they different, and what should students know about them?
So both are job search websites, but Handshake, it means that the employer specifically had to post it for a Messiah student to see it. So Indeed is basically an employer could post a job and anyone who looks up Indeed, puts in the right keywords for that job could see it.
Mhm.
Handshake, they specifically want Messiah students because there are different portals for the different colleges or different associations or things like that. So Handshake, you probably have a better option. You probably have a better chance to get it.
Okay, so how can a student get info on Handshake or get those notifications that a job's been posted?
Come to the Career Center. We also send out, I believe it's every Friday, there's an email sent out with new internships and jobs that were posted that week. Usually it's about 30, and then there are so many more. You can search keywords in Handshake, and then that'll lead you to jobs that would fit your description.
Okay, now we do have a question live from YouTube from Ned. He asks, does it matter what font you use on your resume?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
what's normally we recommend, and if you look at our website, you can see our resume quick tips and guide.
Yep.
And so normally we suggest Times New Roman, and the Calibri.
Yeah.
That other one. But what's really great is that the more creative fields can be a little more creative with their resume to kind of highlight their talent in that way. But for the more like social work, business, things are a little more
Business,
structured.
keep it simple.
Right.
But in general, for your resume, you can go anywhere from 1 inch to 0.5 margins, 12-point font, 10 is usually the smallest, and then keep it simple and streamlined. That's the way to go.
Okay, so we're going to jump to kind of Career Center as a whole. They do some different events specifically into the cities. We know they had a recent one to upstate New York.
Yes.
You guys went on that,
Yep.
correct?
We both did,
How
yeah.
was it? Tell us a little bit about upstate New York.
It was great. I am actually from about an hour outside Buffalo where we were, so it was like going back home for me. And so being able to show people kind of around my hometown or talk about the culture where I grew up was very fun. And get to explore job opportunities in the area where I could potentially be working, but also where I live now was very cool.
Yeah, and we had a lot of alum from a lot of different walks of their like career path. So we had a ton of fresh out of college, a lot going through grad school. We went to Buffalo Bills, got to meet. Yeah, and he runs all their social media, so it was really great. We were like playing football on the
Sat
Bills
in the press
field,
box.
yeah, in the press box, and it's a really awesome way to get connected to alumni in that area. So how I like talked about searching alumni on LinkedIn, you can kind of do that into the city. So we're going and engaging with alumni that are from the area. They're professors, they're getting their masters, they're working at nonprofits, and so it's a really array of experiences, and you get connected to a lot of awesome people.
Yeah, we had anyone from, there were a couple med students, and then there was a social worker, there's a woman who runs her own newspaper, there are people who own their own farm, full breadth of alumni who really want to help us succeed and talk to us about what to do when you get out of college.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So whether it was to New York or to Chicago or one of the Into the City minis, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned through those Into the Cities?
For me, it was definitely confidence. I had never been on any kind of networking like event, and so being able to approach someone and say, how did you get to where you're at, or why are you doing what you're doing now, and being able to just talk to people in a professional way, but they understand like they were in your shoes, like they were students, they lived in Whitmer, like they understand. So being able to engage on that kind of baseline, it's a little more comfortable. So now when we have other events or you see someone comes to your class, like talks about what they do, it's a lot easier for students to go and talk to them and say, how can you help me? Or like, what do I need to be doing now to be in your, like where you're at? Yeah.
I think for me, it's a couple things. I mean, one, even if someone isn't in the field I'm interested in going into, it's good to talk to them because it gives you experience, and it also is like, okay, I may not be interested in their fields, but I may be able to talk to someone else who knows them and they can introduce me. And I also, the second thing, I went on IBI this past summer and I would not have felt as comfortable as I did networking with people if I hadn't done Into the City previously. And also the fast pace of Into the City really sets you up for IBI, just on a bigger scale.
Yeah, awesome. So we have another question from YouTube, and this one is a question I think a lot of people have asked about resumes before. This is from Sky. She asks, how long is too long for a resume?
So generally we recommend 1 page for a resume. There are some areas where it could be 2 pages, or there's something called a curriculum vitae, which is pretty much your entire academic experience from college, but usually 1 or 2 pages, never 1.5. It's either 1 full or 2 full pages is the way to go.
So most seniors end up having 2 full pages, or students with more experience tend to have 2 pages a little bit more, earlier on in their career. But when you're getting rid of some of your high school experiences, freshman, sophomore year tend to be 1 page full, and then as you get in, like you continue with your college career, you end up filling 2 pages easy.
Okay, so as a graduating senior, I should be filling 2 pages.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And you can always expand or shrink.
And never print front, back.
No.
So you have 2 separate pages. Yep.
Staple in the top left. Yep.
Top left, okay. Got it. Cool. So how have you two seen the Career Center positively affect students who came through for any sort of assistance?
Yeah, so I think the big window really helped. So now students see us, we see them, which is really fun. And they're able to just come in and pop in for a question. And I think that's helped because they know that they can come in whenever, even if they're just to check something, have a quick question. And my favorite part is actually seeing what students are doing. And some students are like, well, I did this. And it's some really, really cool thing that was missing from their resume. And so being able to pull out those really awesome experiences and those little nuggets of skills and things that they did is just really fun to see, like light bulbs work and see how their experiences are valuable to these employers.
I would echo what Caitlin said. It's really fun to be able to sit with someone and say, okay, here's your resume. Is there anything else you can add? And they come up with this thing that they don't think is super relevant, but we can make something out of it and add like 3 bullet points. And I also love talking to people about their passions. So when a student comes in and sits down, I'm like, okay, what's up? What do you need me to do for you? And they just sit down and talk about, like, they want to change their major because they realized what they want to go into, or they really want to get this internship, and so I'm going to help them get there. That's one of my favorite things.
That's awesome. So how can someone make an appointment with either of you two or some of the adult coaches?
So you don't need an appointment to meet with us.
Okay.
Fun. So student career coaches are in the Career Center 9 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday. If you want to make an appointment with a career coach, then you'll go to Handshake and do it through there. Or you can come into the office and do that with Carol, our receptionist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So can we jump to IBI for just a
Sure.
second? You said you talked about that.
Yeah.
Really quickly, just fill us in, what is IBI?
IBI is a 10-week rigorous academic experience over the summer. So this past summer, we left May 22nd, returned August 1st. You take 4 classes, it's 12 academic credits, and you visit 13 countries throughout Europe, the Middle East, and Asia.
Awesome. That was a really quick explanation.
I'm really good at it now.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And another big thank you to Erin Herzog for joining us as well. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in next Monday for Falcon Update at 7, or check out our YouTube channel for past campus news, interviews, and musical performances. Have a great night.